Let us go to the Shwedagon Pagoda now.
I reserve my second day for the most famous site in the city, the Shwedagon Pagoda, 8 kilometers north of Old Yangon. It is not only the holiest place in Myanmar, but a spot where the nation's history, politics and religion intersect.
It is not only the holiest place in Myanmar or Burma, but a spot where nation's history, politics and religion intersect. What makes it unique? It's not only for religion but also politics and history.
There are 4 sets of stairs to the top of Singuttara Hill where Shwedagon sits, each aligned with a point of the compass.
Address, that is Singuttara Hill. You have these textbooks with you or even the PDF file, remember this. Of course in your answer you cannot just give a drawing of Shwedagon Pagoda, you have to fill in details. 4 sets of stairs, that means it's quite a distance climbing up.
My cat pulls up at the bottom of one. I take off my shoes and join pilgrims climbing an immense covered staircase. At the top I step out of deep shade into a tableau that is literally dazzling.
Tableau is a description of a scene, a picturesque grouping of persons or objects. That means it's a striking scene. It's a scene that stays in your mind like a photograph. You don't forget it easily. A sumil tale. So it's like a living picture which stays with you even after you leave that place.
Sunlight bounces off the white marble plaza. Towering over it is a mammoth stalagmite of gold, aglow in the morning light. This is the 100-meter tall spike of the Shwedagon Pagoda, covered in some 60 tons of gold leaf.
100 meter.
100 meters. When we convert it into feet, it would be more than 300 feet. Very, very tall structure. Leaf is the thin sheets of gold. This is actual pure gold. It's 60 tons. 1 ton is 1,000 kilos.
This pagoda, or stupa, a solid structure containing holy relics, was built to house 8 hairs of Buddha brought here from India by 2 Burmese merchants. Legend says the site is 2,500 years old.
I could take one whole week just to describe the history of the Shwedagon Pagoda, but that is not the idea. This is what you should be writing in an answer. How many hairs of the Buddha?
8.
8 hairs of the Buddha. Who brought it to Burma or to Myanmar?
2 Burmese merchants.
2 Burmese merchants, and they bought it 2,500 years ago as per the legend. And this is one part of the history where it begins. Now the description of the pagoda itself.
Arrayed around the spire are 64 ornate temples, monuments, statues, lesser pagodas, memorials, shrines and pavilions. When a pleasant, middle-aged Burmese freelance guide, Lily, offers to take me on a 1-hour orientation walk, I leap at the offer.
Ornate means a decoration, something that you add. It's like your makeup. There are 64 ornate or decorative temples. Not just temples, but monuments, statues, lesser pagodas, memorials, shrines and pavilions. In all, when we add them up, we get 64. A huge big number. It's not just the one pagoda 100 meter tall. There are so many other smaller decorative temples, monuments, statues, lesser pagodas, memorials, shrines and pavilions. Now he also says that a guide, her name is Lily, offered to take on a 1-hour walk. Orientation walk. Orientation means to get familiar or to understand, or an introduction to something. On a compass to give the proper directions. North, south, east, west. The basic understanding of that issue. Not the full understanding towards that subject is explained in this orientation. It's like an introduction.
Every day, beginning at 4 a.m. when Shwedagon opens, pilgrims walk clockwise around the plaza.
In this lesson, we cannot rush through it very fast also. Small details. What time does Shwedagon open?
4 a.m.
4 a.m. What direction do they walk?
Walkwise.
I am intrigued by the flow of people to prayer stations where they pour cups of water over 2 Buddhas, and the figure of an animal at their feet. There are planetary posts. There are 8, one for each day of the Buddhist week. Wednesday, a double day, is divided into AM and PM. Each has a representative animal. Rat, lion, etc. And the ceremonial offerings are for each person's creature.
Wednesday is divided into 2 days, AM and PM. Now I think this is also very practical because it creates a balance. So when we have a 7-day week, it creates an imbalance, and I think that's why most of us are a little out of sync. Going through life, you need to have a pause time to time. Whatever is going on with this lockdown, I mean schools are closed, let's not take it as the end, let's take it as a pause. If we have been strong throughout, let's maintain that strength. If we have been weak in studies or not up to the mark, this is how we can improve.
There is history everywhere you turn. The hill was the scene of bloody hand-to-hand fighting during the Anglo-Burmese Wars in the 1800s. Lily takes me to view a memorial to 11 student protesters who, in 1920, demonstrated against the British.
This is the politics part of it. This is a place where Myanmar's history, politics and religion intersect. So this was a place where there was a lot of fighting between the British and the Burmese. Protesters, 11 of them died, and there's a memorial also within that Shwedagon Pagoda. One happened in 1800 and the latest is 1920. By the way, Burma itself, the student movement is very strong, and the monks or the followers of Buddhism, they also have a very powerful role in the politics of Burma. But still then, that's a little advanced knowledge for you. Maybe later on you will take it up.